And a very good morning. It's Tuesday, and what are we doing on Tuesday? Well, removing this paint. We finally got to that stage where we're down to the ground floor. I mean, the ground is a metre below us, so hopefully a couple of days and we'll have all this stripped and we can move across to the last section of the building, which again should only take 3, maybe 4 days at the most, and then that's all the paint off. Right, so we're just letting the grinder cool down for a minute. While we do that, cheers. So this is the first stage that you've just seen there of removing the paint. It's got to be gone over yet with a 40 grit flapper disc. That takes out all of the little marks from the cut disc, and then I'm going to cut through these with another disc and remove the cement mortar, and I'll run you through step by step each one so you can see exactly how we do it. Right, there we go. That's that all chopped back. So again, next you want your brush. Get that dust off there so you can see where you're going. Okay, so the next weapon we need is the pick. And we slowly but surely pick away at these now. Some's easier than others. If you miss a joint, don't worry. Always pick your machine up again and just whip through it. Simple enough. If these were nice sort of regular beds and the bricks were fairly good on Harris, you could, I suppose, use a rake nowadays, but I'm trying to keep the original look of it. I don't want to straighten everything up because then it'll look wrong. You know, this is 160 odd years old and it needs to look as it's supposed to look, not modern. You can see how easy it just comes away. because we've released that pressure between the bricks, so it can now easily just break off. You know, not really any effort going into doing it. You do get the odd bit that's solid, but the majority of it just comes away. And you have to remember that this kind of work, it's not like you're doing your modern pointing and price work and you've got to fly through it, and you know, it's different. It's a slower pace. You've got to be slow with it. You've got to get it right, because this is heritage stuff. It's not modern. You know, you may get a Victorian house and they just want tan and cement pointing. We've just done one. You know, you don't need to be as precise as you do with this. This has to look like it did when it was built. You know, it's no good us trying to modernise the look of it. That'd be wrong. Right, carry on. When this was built, they'd have chosen the cheaper bricks back in 1864. I even know the part of the ground where they came out of, the old Brickcroft. It's now a housing estate, but it had been done cheaply. It was the Clifton family that owned Lytham Hall that built this and owned this, and obviously tenanted it out. So they won't go to a great expense to run the building up. You know, the stonework isn't that ornate. It's fairly plain, and you know, it was done as cheap as possible. But that's how it was back then. It's very important that you remove all the cement mortar. So that cement mortar, even if you're repointing lime, if you've got some of it at the back, attach that bedding, that's going to hold water in. You need to get it all out of them joints. Missed another one there. Just a few. Even okay. So what can we use to get that out of there? And we don't want to be causing a lot of vibration on the brickwork. The best way to get it out, because it's lime mortar, we've now got rid of all cement mortar, is a saw. You've got to be kidding. That's a saw. Battery. But don't worry. I had a feeling it'd do that. I've not charged it since I last used it, so. Oh, it's going to play me up now. Take two. Goodness me. Okay. Right. Right. So now we need a hammer and chisel just to finish it off. So we want to remove this one. That'll probably want removing as well, so it's all broken. And that one. But you'll note when you're taking bricks out, that one holds up that one, holds up that one, and it works the other way too. We might lose that one because it's just sat there. So with a chance we could lose that and that, but that's all that will come down. And there you go, it's out. But we won't throw that away because the rest of it, you know, it's a fairly sound brick. And we need a piece there and a little piece there. So we can cut it out of that. Of course, this is a special masonry blade. Don't use your best wood blade for it because it'll destroy it. These are especially made for cutting stone and concrete blocks and things. somewhere. Trim that as well, I think. One of the advantages with lime mortar, you know, it's soft enough to cut it easily with a saw and pop the bricks out. Some of these cement mortar mixes you come across, they're that damned hard that you're just breaking the bricks trying to get them out. And again, that one there, we'll clean the face of it up with the old cut disc and reuse it. It can go back in. Right, now for this beast. Right. That's the seal broken. It's tight. You keep wiggling the brick, it'll wear away that lime mortar for you. The brick should, in theory, come out a lot easier. Although this one's been a bit stubborn, so it's quite possible there's a pebble and something. There we go. Right, so that's the one that had. It's fallen out somewhere. It did have a big piece of metal in it, I promise you. Yeah, but it's now gone. So, oh, there it is. There it is, piece of metal, and that's what's caused the damage to the brick. Somebody's put it in there many years ago, and that'll be a big iron nail that was used for fastening on a soil stack or a downspout, probably a soil stack, the bathroom being above. And as you can see, all that there is rust, and it lifts up the brickwork and it splits the bricks, etc. It's what's known as rust jacking, and that's why we're changing that particular brick, because it's already broken the brick. As you saw, you know, it's already crumbled it away. So all part of restoring the brickwork. And we were lucky and we didn't lose any more bricks. So all we've got to do now is very carefully clean off the remaining bits of mortar. And for those of you who don't know, these ones here, these halves, are actually full bricks, known as headers, and they're running right through the next skin of brickwork. And it holds the two skins together. And they do it, I think this one's about every 5 course. We've got a row like this. English bond. You'll see it sometimes where you've got a stretcher and a half, stretcher, a half, stretcher, a half, and that's known as Flemish bond, and that's another way of tying the two walls together. You see it a lot on garden walls and things. Right, so what we need next is a bucket of lime mortar. And as it happens, I've got a bucket of lime putty in the van and a 1 ton bag of sand. So I shall go and mix some lime mortar and come back to you shortly. There, a bucket full of lime mortar. As you can see, we've got some bricks cut and ready. Like the same Blue Peter, here's some I prepared earlier. Now you'd normally dampen up your bricks, including your bricks going on to, but everything's damp. It's, well, you know, you live in England, you'll know it's wet at the moment. Yummy. So that's lime putty with 4 of a grit sand. It is. And we're on the bubble with the level, so that's good. That's good. Oh, that's tight. Oh, a bit stuck now. Yeah. That's it, she's in. Again, the old bubble. Just want to go back a bit there, in the back. Now we'll rock it forward slightly because it's yes. Get some in there down the side of the stone. Oh, a little bit more on the top of that, it's not on there like that. Very gently wiggle it in, keeping it straight as you go. Check that it's right with the beds. Lovely, that's happy there. Right, not last but least, right, somewhere in the midst of this massive tools that I've acquired up here, the old hawk and trowel, just to push them in there. Again, we're not pointing this up yet. It's going to be done later on in the year. So we're just going to push some in now, just to make sure that it's filled the joint, and then it'll get pointed in properly when we come to do the actual repointing. Tamping it in, enough the excess. Right, the only other thing that I'd do with this now is possibly just attack it with the old disc, just to age them up a bit. Just these two really, because they're new bricks. They're all weathered, but they don't quite match. Right, so that's basically what you do when you've got bricks that are damaged or rotten. Take them out and replace them. Simple to do. You don't need to be a highly skilled bricklayer to undertake changing of a few bricks. It is quite straightforward, as long as you follow the rules. Make sure that your beds are the same thickness as the existing beds, top and bottom. Make sure that your perps are pretty much in line with all the others. Now, I've done a nice tight joint on that one. Reason being, if you look there, we've got a lovely tight joint on that one too. And there's a few on here where it's really tight joints. So it'll help to blend it in. If I do them all uniform, they're all the same thickness, it'll stand out. We don't want it standing out. Right, on that note, I'll change the disc in the machine, and we'll scuff these up a little bit. Right, well, we've cracked on there. Those are the new brick, and they don't really stand out. I mean, they're a little bit wet, so they will go a bit lighter, but what I've done, I've just chipped a couple of bits off the Harris's as well, has gone over it with the cup disc and the floppy disc. Now, the reason I've chipped them out is because all these are, so you don't want it standing out, like I say. So chip a couple of bits off it, go over it with the cup disc, go over it with the flapper disc, and those bricks look the same as these. Now these are a pre-war Cheshire 75mm, and I think these are about 65mm, but we get away with it because of the state of the Harris on these. Couldn't get any 65s like this, so you know, use what you can get. Also, I've cut that back. Now we've got severe damage up here and down this edge. So what we need to do is we need to cut a piece of this out, ready for a fresh piece of stone to go in to patch it. Yes, we could fill it with a bit of lime mortar and let it go at that, but again, we do that, you know, 2-3 years down the line, and we're going to be looking at coming back to patch it again. So cut it out, put a piece of stone on it. Another 160 years, we'll be coming back to patch it again. We wish. Right, so again, got to change blades. I need to get the other grinder sorted. I can't believe it blew up the other day. Well, say blew up, stopped working. I need to go and buy another two actually, and then I've got a load of them each with a different disc in. I'm not chopping and changing all the time. Just pick a grinder up then, can't I? Right, I'll crack on. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to determine where we're going to cut. We need to draw a straight line. So I think that if we, down a little bit actually, if we go across there, it cuts out all this rotten corner. So we draw a pencil line there, and that's where we'll put the saw through it to cut a nice, neat, straight line, and then we'll deepen it up by hand with the chisels. Right, she's sharpened. Now this is a beaver tail masonry chisel. It's Italian hand forged. It's a mallet chisel, and we use that now to cut and shape this. And we don't want to be going, you know, like bang, bang, bang. Just tap, tap, tap. Nice and gently. That's it. And always cut away the first piece, and obviously you don't cut it to that edge there. You don't want to damage that edge. So you're always working away from that edge. Try not to hit that with my chisel there. That's rock hard cement mortar, which I'm going to have to extract, but we'll get that in a minute. But if I hit my chisel on that, it'll just dull my chisel straight away. And I've just sharpened it. Now you notice your chisel, it's on an angle sort of about that much. You don't want it like that. You know, you have a bit of an angle because you're taking shavings off it. You're not taking big chunks out. We'd use a different chisel. We'd use, if we were going to take big chunks out, we'd be using that, which is a pitching chisel. But because we're trying to do it gently to not damage or disturb any more, we're using the old beaver tail. I mean, we could just carve a nice gargoyle or something into it. Think we get away with that? Probably not. Of course, it does take time. You know, you're not going to have that out in 2 minutes. You know, you can spend an hour slowly chipping away at that. And then, you know, cut a piece of stone and glue it in there and, you know, go over it with a cut disc and go over it with a flapper disc and go over it with a sanding disc until it's perfect. It takes time. So don't think, you know, you can Saturday morning just shoot out and get a pebble or two off the beach and stick it to your stone lintel to make it better. There's a lot more to it than that. Right, we'll change chisels now. Why can I never find anything? We're getting ready for a tidy up. Right, so we're going to attack it now with the raking chisel, which helps us to level it out a bit easier. Again, we don't want to be, you know, you're not bang, 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 gentle. Again, watching this edge, don't go that way. Not easy. Don't help the fact there's a bloody pipe in the way. There's always something in the way, isn't there? Right, just to get into that corner, again we get the little beaver tail because we have to come this way because it's going down to nothing there, so we can't really get in with the raking chisel without damaging anything. Right, well, I think we're deep enough with that now. We've gone in that much, which is a ½ inch, which I think will be enough to put a piece of stone in there. Could always take a bit more out and flatten it a bit more if need be. Right, so now a non-majorly expensive chisel is required for getting out that lump of sand and cement. But again, I can't find a bugger all. There we go. I think in a minute it's going to be lunchtime and tidy up so I can find everything. I think that's going well in there, that. ridiculously hard. See us having to take the brick out to get that out of there. It's well in and it's like bloody iron again. I don't get why people do that, you know. Pure cement. Oh, there. So why not use the battery one? Well, it's a bit too high up, so it's a bit unsafe. You don't want a big mean saw blade flapping about at face height, really. See, when you do this kind of work for a living, you spend most of your day putting right crap that other people have done. Rubber out, though, can rebed it properly. Slate. Plastic rope plug in that one. There. So I think what I'll do is I'll turn it round. I'll put the cup disc on it and we'll turn it round, this one, because it's got a great big hole from a drill hole, you know, a raw plug. So I'll do that and come back to you. Better side. Got a little bit of it on the corner, but it's better than that, and there's a crack in it there as well, which it isn't running through, but you know, you get water in and pop when it freezes. Now that big lump of cement mortar's gone, again it can start to breathe a bit, start to dry out a little bit. So it is damp, that stone, I can feel it. but it will dry out. Now everything's off it. Borrow that bit of slate for a sec. Move that off. Yep, it stayed there, that's good. We'll salvage that bit of slate. Always handy to have a bit of slate. You're packing. Alright, we'll just check it with the old bubble. You can see it's sitting lovely and flush with the brick above and that stone, and obviously the brick we've just put in. We can check both ends of it, and then you know it's right. It's in line with that. It's in line with that. That one there goes thin, thick, thicker. Well, that's the shape of the bricks. Okay, so that's a deep bed on that one there. Continues deep and then it drops down up there. So that's what you've got to be aware of when you're changing your bricks. Like I said, don't rely on one of them. You know, don't think, all right, put the level on it, that's sound, that's done. Because if that's not level, it's not going to be right. Follow what's there every time. Unless, of course, you're doing new, and then that's different, you know. But when you're doing this kind of work, follow what's there. Okay, well, I think on that note, this time it's lunchtime. It's definitely lunchtime. It's not 3 o'clock. So we'll catch you after a bit of a ham sandwich and a cup of tea. See you in a bit.